All right, in frame of nope, not in focus. It's some dude filming in portrait of something that someone else filmed in portraits. What if it was portraits all the way down? So I support Nick Cannon saying whatever the hell he wants and not getting canceled. He thinks skin pigmentation is magic. It's not. It's just an adaptation to radiation. But if this voodoo stuff is what you believe, fine. But that should apply to everyone. It doesn't apply equally. That's my only problem. He said Euros are subhuman. Well, I think all non-Irish are subhuman. Fine. We're both free to hold our own retarded beliefs. I think America needs to take the foot off the gas for a few years. We don't have to blow everything out of proportion. It's like these people don't understand the possible repercussions of what they're doing, but they just there's one team that knows repercussions, and they're the ones who are outwardly saying accelerate it, burn it down, test it to destruction. There's another group who are acting exactly the same way, but they really don't understand what's going to happen. Anyway, he didn't get fired for those comments. He got in trouble for his interpretation of history. I didn't see what the issue was. If you think Africans started Judaism or Christianity, what's the big deal? If Moses or Christ had dark skin and different facial features, who cares? The message is what matters. But Nick Cannon had the holy crap scared out of him by very powerful people, which means someone was offended or scared of what he said. Nick issued a long apology that probably was not written by him, but what exactly did he say that was so haram? You have two groups of people arguing who started a religion. Who cares? How is that offensive? But calling Europeans Untermensch didn't get him in trouble. That should show you where the power is. If someone identifies as a member of a religion, then they are. It's as simple as that. Surely if a man can identify as a woman, then he is free to identify as a member of religion. The books are out there. He can interpret them to mean whatever he wishes. Or he can just say that God gave him a message. I mean, that's how the original stuff was communicated. Then some guy named Charlemagne, who is, I assume, a rapper or a sports ball entertainer type, said that Nick Cannon got fired because they control the media. Well, no shit. This is a controversial statement to absolutely nobody. It's not perpetuating a harmful stereotype when it's true. What is weird is how defensive they are about it. The fact that they want to keep people from talking about it makes me curious. Are they hiding something? Are they biased? Are they crafting a narrative? Inquiring minds want to know. Covering this at all probably means a hate speech strike for YouTube, which makes me wonder, why does social media fear free expression? What are they afraid people will talk about? Are there things that people should be talking about? The self-censorship on YouTube is insane. People quickly learn that there's an elephant in the room. So for guys with commercial accounts, they just avoid it, which gives it power. If you have a protected group that has a shield, they can throw slings and arrows, and when you return fire, they just raise this magic shield. And if you mention the magic shield, you get deplatformed. Things get interesting when you get these black guys who start to notice this hypocrisy. Then it turns into a billion-dollar corporation calling a black guy anti-istophobic. People start to wonder, what the hell is going on? Things get worse with the Twitter news yesterday about Twitter shadow banning accounts, which effectively means that they can control elections. Open up Google and DuckDuckGo in two windows. Do a test for political or racial bias. It's immediately obvious what Google is doing. If a politician gets his tweets deboosted, he'll lose votes. He won't get elected. So you have an unelected company acting as a shadow government to control elections. Someone mentioned that social media is a matter of national security. They're right. Twitter can control anyone's account and pretend to be them. They can release private DMs between politicians. They could probably start wars. Another issue is that they are far-left companies. All the major ones are extremely biased. So they can push a socialist open borders agenda, which they do. How do you think we got pedophile cross-dressing men in libraries reading to children? Or little boys stripping on stage? Do you think Desmond is amazing, is organic? It's peak Weimar. It's the decline of Western civilization. If you fight back against it, you'll get fired and deplatformed, so you can't even defend yourself. I said pedos should be extinguished from this mortal coil on social media. I got kicked off several times for saying that. Doesn't that stop to make you think? Why the hell would Twitter or anyone be against a very reasonable statement like that? It kind of makes me wonder about all these spirit cooking people, the Epsteins, Weinsteins, James Gunn, Giselle Maxwell's, Mariana Abramovics, Anthony Weiner's, all the child trafficking, the Wayfair scandal. What is it with these people and kids? Hollywood seems to have a pedo problem. That's a good title. That would get me kicked off YouTube. But, fuck it. That's step one. But why isn't anyone talking about it? The weird thing about Wayfair is that the day the scandal broke, hours later, the media came out denying it as a far-right conspiracy theory. Like, within hours. It seems like the right is concerned with stopping pedos and the left is defending them. Because for some odd reason, these alleged pedos are all on the left. The BBC came out with a video saying that Wayfair thing was a conspiracy theory. But how exactly do they know? They didn't do an investigation. They didn't have time. Another odd thing. The BBC has a history of defending pedos. Yes, really. Check it out. All right, you know what? I guess I'll cut it there. I was going to talk about something else, but it seems like stay on one topic. This video is by, you can find his site. It's Rare Rebel People Army. Rare Rebel People Army. And he's got a bunch of stuff on this kind of conspiracy thing. There's a lot of people who cover this kind of stuff. And to be perfectly honest, a lot of them are kind of whack jobs. They talk about, what's the stuff in the sky? The contrails, condensation, things like that. You know, all kinds of stuff that's pretty far out there. And the thing is, 10 years ago, if you told me about a lot of this stuff, I would have said, at first glance, the pizza stuff, at first glance, it sounds nonsense because you're coming from the perspective of a normie person. You're not coming from the perspective of someone who's a public defender, or district attorney's office, or a police, or an investigator, who is familiar with seeing that, yes, there are monsters in the world. So you're thinking, oh, these people can't really be trafficking children. It's got to be rare, right? And then you read the tweets and the pizza email exchanges, and you realize, well, they're not talking about food. Definitely, nobody talks about food. They're talking about contraband. I don't know. It's some contraband. It's something that's either illegal, unethical, or something that they want to keep secret. And they're using codes. Nobody is concerned with pizza. Nobody's concerned with Italian food. So they're talking about something. And so, Snopes or one of these accounts will come out and say, oh, it's proven false. That has nothing to do with nothing. And you look at it and goes, well, how did you investigate? Did you go through any legal process? Did you get search warrants? No, you're just a far left internet site. Well, and then somebody will go on Twitter and source Snopes as their source, and then you show the history of Snopes, and you realize these people are just far left whack jobs. They don't do any investigating. Anyway, so I saw this BBC video that was just released a few hours ago. So what investigation did the BBC do in a day or 2 days? Well, they don't say. But it's all fake. You can just trust me, bro. Just take my word for it. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, guys. Check out all these conspiracy theories. And all this stuff, like, every year as more and more of this stuff comes out, I think people are starting to realize that, yes, there are monsters out there. And just because a monster is in a protected class, at some point, the thing is, the monsters also run the media. At some point, you're going to have to, pull the Band-Aid off and expose the wound to sunlight, the disinfectant of sunlight, or the open marketplace of ideas, and say, okay, we've got a problem. It's a protected class. Nobody wants to talk about it, but they're hurting children. We have to do everything possible to eradicate these people from this mortal coil. After due process. That's not a death threat. Don't call the FBI. After due process. Legal due process. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, thank you for all those who have. like, comment, subscribe. And I do realize if this channel ever got bigger, it would get attention, and I would just get kicked off of like PayPal and Coffee and Patreon and all those kind of sites. But I still got a post office box. Can't take that away from me. Yet. It seems like America has this ever series of yets. Oh, and someone posted a cartoon of cancel culture, and it showed a large spherical stone or stone wheel crushing people sequentially, one by one, crushing people into a bloody pulp. And then you had a line of people who weren't yet crushed, and the guy standing who was next in turn to be crushed by the stone said, we have to stop cancel culture. And it shows him sweating, and they're saying that these celebrities who are rushing to come out and stop cancel culture right now are probably the next ones to be canceled, probably because they're covering something up. But this cancel culture stuff is just an Ouroboros. It never ends. It will never end. You'll never be woke enough, because it will be, all it will do is cause what is it, the indecision of when you're what is it? Something, the indecision of paralyzation of indecision or something like that, when you just can't get anything done because you're trying to run it past a consensus. So it's like you're running it past this internal bureaucracy of, oh, this isn't woke enough, this isn't woke enough, so nothing gets done. You have movies where a character is supposed to play the role, but because they're the wrong ethnicity or sexuality, it was like a trans role or something, oh, you need to find an actual trans person to play this role. Can't find one because you need to find, they've got to act, they've got to be able to act, and there's just not that many actors out there. So you go, okay, the movie's not getting made. That's it. That's the whole truth. It's like, you're not substituting. If you want to say, okay, we have trans actors who can play these roles, maybe it's better to get one of those trans actors. No, they just don't exist. There's just not that many of them. So the movie doesn't get made. So that piece of art, that piece of commercial enterprise, it just gets shut down. And there's no consequences for the Twitter mob who started this thing. Twitter needs, I pray to God, Congress finds its balls and says, we have to, I don't know, nationalize social media, enact due process protections, first, Fifth Amendment protections for media. It is the town marketplace. It is the only place that speech is being expressed. It has to have First Amendment protections. Oh, just bake the cake, private business. Private business will sort itself out. No, this is just crony capitalism. This is, the thing is, the far left and the far right actually agrees on several issues, but the far left is so whacked out of their mind that they won't sit down with the far right and say, you know what, we have a lot of the same beliefs, or at least libertarian beliefs. It seems like the far, do I want to get into this? The far left says, oh, eat the rich. It's the top 5% or something. All right, so the